from the offices of our member Azimio One Kenya coalition political parties. But basically, just to add on the statements that have been read, is to say that from policy, regulatory, and legislative point of view, that there is nothing, there is absolutely nothing that is going on in this government. Zero. We have just gone through supplementary estimates in Parliament, and I know most of you have the details. There was nothing in that supplementary budget that pointed out to the direction of a government that is trying to lift Kenyans from bottom to up. Again, we are going through budget policy statement right now. Again, in that document, there's zero. There's nothing pointing to the direction that there's a government that is keen on improving the welfare of Kenyans in the areas that they cite in churches. So what we are saying, what we are telling Kenyans is that we are worse off. We have never been worse off the way we are worse off today. And therefore, our message is that we are not going to wait, and Kenyans should not wait. We are tired, and we have to take the responsibility of taking care of ourselves as Kenyans. And lastly, before you bring up your questions, you know there's this debate that is going on the way we are worse off today. And therefore, our message is that previous regime and the expenditure and how they were occasioned and how they were happened. And I have seen that a constitutional office, the office of the Controller of Budget, is trying to run away from responsibility. And I think this is dangerous because that office was given the mandate of the independence mandate. That office was not supposed to be managed by anybody. In fact, Kenyans put faith in that office to help us check the excesses of a rogue government. Therefore, I want to urge the Controller of Budget that you have to take responsibility for those expenditures. Because we are not going to allow you to say that you are forced. You have the tenure of office and independence of the office. So you have to take responsibility. Secondly, the misuse or use of Article 223 in the Constitution is not something which is isolated. And actually, if you look at the records of expenditures since Mr. Ruto took over the reins of power, you will realize that they have spent more resources using Article 223 than even what was spent previously. And more importantly, that the resources they have spent have been spent on useless things like, prayers, interdenominational prayers, setting up offices, useless offices. The deputy, Mr. Gachagua has spent more resources than any other officer. And the value he has to this government is zero. The only value he has to this government is dowry. I've said this before. So what we are saying is that this article is being abused by this regime. And they cannot turn around and say that it is the previous regime. In fact, the previous regime, the items listed are actually developmental items. Monies were spent on essential services that actually were benefiting Kenyans at that particular time. Thank you very much.
Do you have questions?
Aya, asante sana. Tuchukue maswali tafadhali. Yes, Luke.
Yes, I have one question, not very much related to...
Please, let's start with the ones that are related to the statement, then we will come to yours.
Maybe you can take note and then you answer it.
Yes, yeah, just let the others ask and then we'll take yours. I know what you want to ask me.
Any other person? Gatete?
That means the statement was comprehensive. People don't have any questions. I like that.
Bwana SG,
yes.
Gatete from Citizen.
Yes,
a question.
Answers are urgent, Gatete. We have said that the government needs to come out and tell us and tell Kenyans that they have a plan for any of these things that we are addressing. We are tired of people, over-articulating the problem. As we have said, we have seen previous governments that arrived that were prepared on day one to tackle the problems of Kenyans. These matters cannot wait any longer because we represent people here in Nairobi, across the country. Kenyans are suffering. All they want to know is a plan. And every time we are told, oh, 6 months, oh, 1 year, and the goalpost keeps shifting. What we are saying is, if we as the representatives of the people have been unable to extract a plan from these people, from the so-called government of Kenya Kwanza, we will take our people to Professor Ndungu's office so that he can explain to Kenyans what the plan is in terms of economic recovery. We don't want people to continue threatening to name individuals who have looted Kenyan money. If you have the names, call a press conference like this and tell Sifuna took 10 million. We have sent the details to the DCI and to the ESCC. The accountability agencies, let them do the investigations, because even Kenyans want to know. But we cannot have examples what the NAC government did in a matter of months. These characters who impose themselves on Kenyans, they have no plan. That's what we are saying.
And maybe to add on that, Gatete, maybe to add on that. No, this issue of Kenyans being reminded all the time that somebody took money, somebody did what they did. As you pursue that line, which is okay. If somebody stole money, then go for those people. But as you do that, tell us what you're doing with the money that you're collecting now. Because you're collecting money now. Yeah, you're collecting money now. When you came, you lifted those subsidies. What are you doing with that money? We need to see you doing something, not always complaining. Thank you.
Okay, any other question?
Mheshimiwa, when Mheshimiwa was talking about the control of budget, I had Mheshimiwa Oluoch calling for her resignation. Maybe he can clarify that.
We will address matters in the statement first. There are no more questions. Can we come to...
SG, very quickly. John from KBC.
Yes, John.
Once again, timelines. You've said few days. What are we looking at when we talk about days?
You are aware that there are various programs that are going to be announced by the coalition. Part of that program will be announced tomorrow.
Right.
Yes. Look, now I think we are done with the statement. Let's hear yours. I'm sure ni mambo ya maandamano.
Yes, maybe what Kenyans are expecting, because the 14-day ultimatum is lapsing tonight. What should Kenyans expect tomorrow?
Yes, we were with Baba at the Senate yesterday, and he spoke to the media and told you to be patient. There will be a media address similar to this one tomorrow to set out the next course of action that we will be taking as a coalition. So I believe that's the end of it.
Now this one, Vincent Oduor from NTV.
Yes, Vincent.
We know the deadline is elapsing to today midnight, and yesterday there were reports that an emissary was sent by President Ruto to try and set up a meeting with the former President Uhuru Kenyatta, and the former president flatly refused, and they used his cousin Kungu. I don't know if
where are you
to
getting that, because I don't think any one of us here is aware of what you are discussing.
It was an exclusive information that I had. I don't know if you
fairness
guys
to us-
are aware of, or
In
is
fairness
there,
to us, allow us to answer things that are within our knowledge.
but from that point
So
of view,
please,
are you,
Vincent,
is there anything coming from
Vincent.
the other side with regards to the deadline?
Vincent, we will be speaking to the country tomorrow as the Azimio Coalition upon expiry of the deadline to set out the next course of action. Is there any other question? Yes. No, it's okay. We can go the whole day if you want.
Thank you. There's no coalition which when you won an election, some of your members, we are seeing them going to State House, and there is an allegation some of the money they are paid is the money which is coming from the external. What's your take on that, and what are you going to do with that? Because if that's true, then the petrol is just within
We
the
will
coalition.
discuss that matter at another opportunity. I have told you we are back at Chungwa House. We will be giving briefs of meetings of the party, the coalition, at regular intervals, and I'm sure these matters will be addressed. For now, Kenyans want to know if this government has a plan to reduce the price of unga at least to the 100 shillings that Uhuru left. Hapo ndio tuko. Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki.